Welcome to Gutsy Coach Week and Get Gutsy episode number 101 with Mollie Hearne on Master Your Morning. Welcome to Get Gutsy. I'm your host, Jenny Fennig, and I am so excited to be on this journey with you. A cutting-edge show blending business and spirituality, Get Gutsy serves up a potent blend of stories, lessons, and tips to help you make a massive impact in the world through your soul's work and your inspired life. No more going it alone, no more excuses. The world needs more brave women saying yes to leadership. Are you with me? Good. Let's get gutsy now. Hey everybody, Jenny here. Welcome back to Get Gutsy. So pumped to have you here. Oh my gosh, we just crossed the 100 episode mark, and with this episode, we are rocking our way into the next realm. It's crazy to think about this wild journey over the last 100 plus episodes, and now here we are. We are in the midst of Gutsy Coach Week. I am having a blast. I hope you are too. We are shining a light on rising star coaches, these light worker leaders on a mission, here to change lives, these amazing souls, you included, who know that you were put here for a reason. You have a divine assignment, and you are going to fulfill it, no matter what. So today you are in for an amazing treat. We have a wonderful woman with us who just has a fantastic light energy. I had a chance to meet her a few weeks back in New York City during one of my events. It was called Sacred in the City, and she got herself there, which just says so much about her. So I want to introduce Mollie Hearne to you, and then we're gonna chat, and you're gonna have a blast. So here it is. Mollie Hearne is a Southern Californian turned small town country girl, a former nurse. She is now a certified PiYo and Pilates instructor and is certified in massage therapy and bodywork. Her newest title, coach. Her calling has always been to serve. She knows that God has gifted her, qualified her, and called her to be a coach. Every moment of her life, every experience that she's had, and difficulty she's endured has prepared her for this life of coaching. Mollie is a wife to an amazing husband and a mama to two awesome, fun, crazy, and sometimes stressful kids. I get it, Mollie. Plus two fur babies. Mollie, welcome to Get Gutsy and Gutsy Coach Week.
Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be here.
Yeah, it is. I'm pumped to have you here. As I mentioned in your intro, we had a chance to get to know each other over these last, several months of 2016 because you were in our most recent class of Get Gutsy Coach Training School, just graduating during the month of October, kind of crossing that, getting that accolade of like, you did it, you finished. And it was right around that time that I was headed to New York City for an event with my business coach and said, hey, I want to offer something up from my tribe called Sacred in the City, because I just love Sex in the City on those days all those years that I lived in New York City. And I put it out there, and you jumped. You said, I'm going to come. And I just love the fact that you made it happen. You drove the 2-ish hours to New York, came to the event, drove 2 hours home because the next morning was your daughter's birthday party. Yeah. So congrats for doing that. I loved meeting you. And is that kind of the way that you roll, that you see opportunities and you go for them, even if they're not the most, quote, convenient in the world?
I haven't always been that way. I think more recently, since I've opened myself up to possibilities and started listening to my spirit guides, I've started noticing things that come my way and opportunities that present themselves to me. Sometimes they have to present themselves a couple of times. Mm-hmm. But now I'm aware, and I love when I see that. I jump on it because I know it's going to be great. And this being at the end of our coach training school, I knew it was going to be an amazing evening because the whole coach training school was amazing. You're amazing. And I was just like, I have to be there. I have to meet her. I need to be part of this small group because they are going to just help me grow, and I'm going to learn so much. And so now I'm jumping on stuff when I can.
You jumping. What was your big takeaway from, being with me live, being with the other leaders who said, yeah, I'm going to be there too in this amazing city of New York City? And that room that we were in was like insanely beautiful. That hotel that we had our event at, I walked in, I remember going, oh my God, like, where am I? This place is spectacular. I feel like I'm in kind of this like inner sanctuary of soulful golden peacocks. Like there was all the art on the wall. It was just, I kind of was pinching myself going, wow, this is my life and this is my business and we created this. So what was your big takeaway from that experience?
It was a perfect setting for that evening. My biggest takeaway was not to wait. I always feel like I need to have, all my ducks in a row, and I have to have A through Z finished before I can start something. But being there with the group and just listening to what they were saying, what they were presenting, and things that they've learned, it was just like, why am I waiting? Why do I want to do this someday? Why don't I do this right now? Like, there's nothing holding me back except for me. Mm-hmm. So my biggest takeaway was just do it. You have this idea in your head. You want to put it out there. Make it happen.
Yes, love that. Make it happen. That was kind of been my rally cry since way back when. I birthed my coaching business in 2008. I don't know what the heck I was doing, but I just went for it. I was like, I'll figure it out. And that's such a great point that you made. You can't wait. The longer you wait, the longer it doesn't work. And the only way you know what works is to get out there and do the work. Work it, right? There's this expression that my coach many years back said to me is, Jenny, you can't steer a parked car. And I'll never forget that because it's true. You're going to go through course corrections on the journey. You're going to try something and it like freaking bombs, or there's mediocre results and maybe you realize, okay, I could shift this, try that, and then you'll have, success the next round, but you'll never know if you're trying to, have it all perfect before you even launch it. Like it doesn't work. And so I'm really happy that you brought that up. And I know our listeners are going to benefit from that piece of wisdom that you gleaned from getting yourself in your car and driving, come to the event, and then going home for your daughter's birthday party. How old are your kids?
My daughter is 5. She just turned 5. And my son is 3.
So cute. So walk us through like a day in the life for you. You've got these 2 kids. Are they in school? Any childcare? Like, how do you do the work stuff that you have found and love, and parent? How do you shape this?
Well, I like to start my mornings off for myself. I actually call it mastering my morning. So I do my little routine in the morning. The kids.
What's your routine?
Okay. So it's, actually it's one of my little freebies. So there's 6 steps, and it's to sit in silence or prayer, say an affirmation for the day, visualize what I'm going to get done that day, exercise, that's step 4. That sometimes, depending on if I'm teaching a class or not, that either gets done in the morning or when I teach my class. The 5th step is to read. I like to read at least 10 minutes of personal development. And the 6th step, which oftentimes gets done at the end of the day, is writing. Write down what I did well that day, what I can work on, my to-do list, check things off my to-do list. So those are my 6 things that I get done in the morning, along with my cup of coffee in my Get Gutsy mug.
Nice, girl. I know you scored that mug at our New York Sacred in the City event. I love that. And you mentioned that you turned this into a freebie. Is that available now for people to check out?
It is.
Where can they get that, Mollie?
They can get that at Mollie Hearne, MollieHearne, leadpages.co/master your morning.
Okay, cool. So you guys, we will have that link available for you on our show notes page. So you can go to jennyfenig.com and you can type in Mollie, Mollie, in the search bar. Mollie's episode will come up and you'll be able to see the various links that might be mentioned on this episode and that one in particular, and you can click on it and go grab it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, cool. So that's how you do it. So you have your morning to yourself, and then what happens?
Then the kids are up.
Right, and then it's like, here we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Busy mornings. So they're both in preschool. Cora's 4 days, Mason is 2 days. And that's like our half day. A couple days a week, 4 to 4 days a week, I teach a fitness class at our local YMCA and at another gym down the road. And then the afternoon is free for us to do what we have to do, either run errands, appointments, crafts. They do like to watch a couple TV shows every once in a while. But I'm go all day long until, dinner and bedtime. And then the evening, I'll have a little block of time there to work on my business. So if I want more time, I got to get up a little bit earlier and set some time aside after I do my morning routine so I can, either make my to-do list, send out emails, put my posts up, and that's my day.
Yeah. And you've been using social media quite a bit. Did you sign up for Edgar? I'm trying to remember if you did.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. But regardless, you've been really out there on social media, Facebook in particular. I see you there putting your posts out, being really consistent. Even for those who haven't yet signed up for like a social media scheduling tool, I use that very much in my business. But earlier on, you might not sign up for that, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be or can't be consistent on social media. And so you do a great job of that, Mollie. So let's go back in time a bit. It seems like you started your career as a nurse. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you did that for about a decade.
Yes.
Okay. And then why and how did you evolve out of nursing into your new realm of, really like the fitness and I know you're involved in direct sales and now coaching. So, take us back in time into that nurse Mollie,
yes,
and how that change occurred.
Love being a nurse. Once a nurse, always a nurse, I will say. I graduated from Villanova University with my bachelor's, and I joined, I was in the military and started off in San Diego and then traveled back to Pennsylvania.
You were in the military? You were in the military?
I was.
What branch? Yes. What arm? What do you say that?
Yes, the Navy nurse.
That's right. Okay, you were a Navy nurse, so you were in the Navy. Wow. So you graduated from college and then went right into the Navy?
Yes, I joined the ROTC program at Villanova.
Oh, cool. Did you always know you were going to do that?
No.
How did that occur to you? How did you get that idea? That seems kind of bold.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a big gutsy move for me.
Yeah, you just get there and you're like, I think I'm going to join the ROTC. Like, how did that happen?
I grew up in a big family, so I'm one of 6, and wonderful family. And I am the third girl, and then there's 2 boys and a girl after me, so I'm kind of there in the middle. And I just kind of felt like I needed something for myself. And I knew I wanted to be a nurse, and Villanova was top 3 nursing schools. And I'd never been to the East Coast. I had always dreamed of traveling. I love the different seasons, or at least I thought I did, which I do. But before I moved, I pictured how wonderful the change of seasons would be.
Totally.
So
you didn't know how cold it would be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right there with you. Mm-hmm.
So I went out to visit some colleges with my mom, and I can remember it was April, and we were at Villanova. It was kind of a grayish, misty, raining day, but I just fell in love with the campus, and just the feeling about it. I was like, I need to go here. I need to be there and enter ROTC. Being the third girl, my two older sisters were in college as well. Villanova, it was not a
inexpensive
state school where I lived, and it wasn't inexpensive. So, my parents were like, oh, we got to figure something out. And this was an option. So I signed up, worked for the scholarship that first semester, or the first year, and then got the scholarship, and they paid for the next 3 years.
Wow. And so then you needed to serve. Then your job was to serve. How long did you serve in the Navy?
4 years active duty service, and then 4 reserve.
Okay. Were you ever deployed?
No. I was fortunate enough to be able to stay in San Diego my 4 years, and did not have to be deployed at all.
Okay. So you were a Navy nurse, and then you got out of the Navy and continued nursing in the hospital setting?
Yes. So I was a labor and delivery nurse for 10 years. And I had my daughter, Cora, and went back to work after her. And then when I was pregnant with my son, Mason, just scheduling, trying to figure out schedule to work for me and my husband and our daughter, and it just kind of wasn't panning out the way we had hoped. And my husband said, just come home. So I said, okay, I'll be a stay-at-home mom for a while. And that's how that happened. So 6 weeks before I had my son, I quit nursing and in the hospital setting, and came home to be a stay-at-home mom.
Wow. So you're doing the stay-at-home mom thing. And when during that trajectory were you like, hey, there's some other stuff I could do in addition to mothering?
My son was about 4.5 months. Before that, we went to go visit. So my son was born in September, and we went to visit my family over the Christmas holiday. And I had put on a lot of weight. I was about 210 pounds when I had him. And I had lost that 20 and got just stuck. And, wintertime, you just kind of stay indoors and not really feeling like doing anything. And I had talked to my sister, and my oldest sister, Heather, and she was always looking fit and good. And I knew she made healthy eating choices and exercised. And so I had a chat with her when we were visiting in California. So she helped set me up with this eating plan. So got home January 2014, and that's where I was like, all right, I'm not feeling quite ready to exercise yet postpartum, so I'm going to focus on food. Lost a good amount of weight just in that first month, and then when I was feeling ready, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get on a program. We're gonna do this. And I was sitting, feeding Mason in the middle of the night, and up pops an infomercial for a program. And I had done a program like this before, but this was only 30 minutes. And I was like, I can totally do 30 minutes. So jumped on that. And, within the first couple months, I was down to my baby weight, or pre-baby weight. And I just kept going. And friends and family started noticing and were asking what I was doing. So I started talking about it, and they started getting on board with me. And then I was like, hey, maybe I can help people do this. And that's kind of how I decided to become an independent Beachbody coach.
Cool. So those were kind of like the workouts or the products that you were using at that point to lose the weight and get fit and feel good in your body? Awesome. So you became an independent Beachbody coach. And how long have you been doing that now?
I've been doing that for a couple years. Actually, October was my 2-year mark, and my 2-year mark of my 60-pound weight loss as well.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So, that's when I started jumping in. I kind of focused mostly on myself and a couple of friends because I really wanted to get back to feeling good, not just looking good, but feeling like myself. Because I've always been a pretty happy-go-lucky kind of person, and I wanted to get back to that. So I focused on myself mostly, and then so I could focus on serving other people.
That's wise. Yeah, we have to feel good. We have to be doing the work on ourselves. I mean, that's also the path of coaching, which you have, since discovered for yourself that, that personal growth path is crucial, and it doesn't ever end. I mean, it really doesn't, which you illustrated beautifully with your Mastering My Morning system that you shared with us, and that the reading, personal growth and the affirmation work and just everything, really every step in your process is connected to the personal growth path of coaching. We can serve our people, our tribe, our clients, our students at the highest level, our family at the highest level, when we are consistently going inward and looking at, what's up here, what's blocking me, what's setting me free, all of it. That's so beautiful that you're able to do that. All right, so you've been doing the Beachbody coaching piece for about 2 years now. What made you start getting interested in another realm of coaching? The coaching clients that may not be taking, Beachbody, they may not be buying the Beachbody products or doing those kinds of workouts. They may not even want to come to you for that stuff in particular, but they want, life coaching or wellness coaching just in general. What made you start getting interested in, in a new path, another layer that you could bring into your life and your business?
Well, I started looking at what I had gone through before the baby. A lot of people go through a significant weight gain when they have babies, but mine, I have had issues with my weight, way back. I have pictures in my head of photographs of how I looked at different stages. And I wanted to be able to reach people on a deeper level than just, the physical, let's get a bikini body. Let's shed 20 pounds. Let's shed 50 pounds. Right. I wanted to get away from the number and start thinking about why we're struggling, like internally, like, is there something holding us back? Is there a reason we don't want to start something? Are we afraid that we're going to fail because we've failed in the past?
Right.
Do we lack the support? I know I've heard many people say, well, it's hard for me to eat healthy because my spouse or my significant other doesn't, or my kids don't like these things. And I want to reach more of the family setting of, this is going to be a lifestyle change for everybody. Like, you want to be healthy for yourself, but you also want your family to be healthy. Yeah. And so you started seeing there's a whole nother component to what this is, that, training to become a coach, going through a real coach training school would give you some new skills and tools. And then the marketing and the entrepreneurship knowledge and know-how that you need to serve your tribe on a deeper scale. Exactly.
Okay, cool. And so what was your search like when you were finding a coaching school that would meet you where you are and get you to where you wanted to be? Did you look at a few different options? How did you find our school, Get Gutsy Coach Training School? Just kind of take us through your process.
I was just kind of looking at different things online about different skills that could help me. Mostly, in the marketing entrepreneurial part of things, because I wasn't quite sure. I've always been good at the support. The support thing has always been, a strong support and motivation. I've had several groups on Facebook that done a bunch of challenges with. But a webinar popped up, a free webinar that you were hosting, talking about different coaching skills and including the entrepreneurial part and marketing part of what I was looking for. So I listened to one of your webinars via recording, and then I think it was a series of 4, and that was the third one. So I got an email for a 4th one, and I was like, all right, I want to be live for this one. So I jumped on it, and just everything that you had said on the webinar about, coaching and this, I was looking for more of the spiritual end of things as well, and coaching and the marketing. I was looking for the whole package, and you had it, and you just had such an amazing energy, and you could really tell that you were passionate and cared about what you were doing. So when you presented the offer to join the coach training school, I was like, yes, like this is what I'm looking for. I've been looking for something, and it just kind of fell in my lap. So I'm going to pick it up off of my lap, and I'm going to embrace it.
I love that. It just fell into my lap. This is what I'm looking for. And I find that once we get in alignment and we know that the thing that we want is out there, and we're going to keep searching until it tends to just fall in our lap once we're open. And then the brave and the gutsy thing is to say, oh yes, I'm going to take that off of my lap and embrace it and take action and move forward. So I want to acknowledge you for that and celebrate you for making that decision. What was the experience like for you going through Get Gutsy Coach Training School? Again, you've got 2 kids. You have, your Beachbody work that you've got going on. You teach fitness classes. You're an engaged woman in your home, and I know you were one of our standout students. Like, you showed up, you came to the calls, you participated in the forum. I know you really took advantage of the peer coaching opportunity that we offer our students. Just walk us through the experience that you had in the 4 months of Get Gutsy Coach Training School, and how you were able to layer that into your full life.
Well, I was so excited to be investing in myself and finding something that I was truly passionate about. So I wanted to just jump in, both feet, hit the ground running, and I did that. So every lesson we got, I listened. I did all of the action steps. It took some figuring out to do with our schedule. Waking up a little bit earlier to get this in. Staying up a little bit later to finish what I wanted to finish, finding time for the peer coaching, which I absolutely loved. Being coached by somebody and being able to do what I finally knew that I'm supposed to be doing, right. Helping somebody and getting the feedback from them about like, oh my gosh, thank you. Wow, yes, this is what I need. So in just each week, I just got more excited because more information and more tools I can use, and more ideas kept coming up. And then, where I thought I was going to be using this, totally different by the end. Coming in here, I came into the school as like, Beachbody coach, I'm going to try to do maybe a little bit more with it. And then by the end, I'm just like, okay, life coaching. We're going to, envelop the whole entire person. We're not just going to talk about the nutrition and physical activity. We're going to encompass the mindset. We're going to encompass the spirit, and we're going to put it all together to create this beautiful life to live.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for the road that you're on. I remember when I was, going through my coach training way back when. It feels like 8,000 years ago, but it was like eight plus years ago. And that moment of feeling like, oh my gosh, I found it. I found the thing that I've been looking for. Not only when you find, the school that can teach you, or kind of that training experience, but that that there is a thing that captures what you've been doing your whole life. And that thing is coaching. And I'm sure that you were doing pieces of coaching in your nursing career, Molly, as you were guiding some of your patients. Right? Who may have been struggling. Okay, you know what? How about try this? Let's try this. Don't, like everyththing's fine, that kind of thing. Because I've had some, wonderful caregivers in my day, especially as I've birthed 3 babies. And so all hail to the nurses and the medical community and the midwives and the doulas and the doctors and all of that. Oh my gosh, thank goodness. And, when you realize like, wow, there is a path that absolutely captures the things that I liked doing best in all those other roles, all those other jobs. And that thing is called coaching. When I discovered that, Molly, I was beside myself with joy and with relief, honestly, that I don't have to hold on to these other roles, these other jobs, these other positions that weren't fully me, that weren't fully going to allow me to have the kind of life that I want, to be with my family in the way that I want to be with them. And frankly, they need me to be with them, Yeah. And so that to me is just like the ultimate around coaching. And you've been so savvy in understanding the online components. I think that's a core thread that weaves through the majority of our students, not all, but the majority of our students who come through Get Gutsy Coach Training School, they desire to do business online. Mm-hmm. We love, being able to have, I loved meeting you at my workshop in New York, my event in New York, but, I love that I can touch people all over the planet. Our students, they come from all over the planet. That to me is fantastic. And so for you, Molly, that's what's possible for you. You're going to have all these people you can touch and serve. It doesn't matter where they live. And I want our listeners to take that in as well. This is such a freedom-based path. Yes, hard work is involved. And so if you don't want to work hard, don't be a coach, and B, don't be an entrepreneur. And maybe don't be a human, because I feel like being a human means that we do need to put in the time. I do think that we don't have to be like killing ourselves every moment of the day, because that can get old. But, I've listened to some great stories. Most recently, I listened to, Sarah Blakely, the creator and founder of Spanx, which is, she's like, I want to say she's like the youngest self-made billionaire or something like that, who's a woman. Oh my God, her story is insanely awesome. And I was listening to her being interviewed on a different podcast, Lewis Howes' podcast recently. And I was just so taken by just the amount of hard work she put into creating what she's created. She was not willing to hear no and have no take her off of her path. She just kept going. She was so savvy, so smart, just went for it. And that's the vibe that I get from you. You're going to go for it. You're going to put stuff out there. You have a spirit of serving. You love it. You love helping people. And I know that you're going to be successful in everything that you do. And I'm super freaking pumped for you. How is it like when you're coaching people now, having gone through everything that you went through? And I love the way you described the peer coaching opportunity. But how do you feel when you're coaching somebody?
It just comes natural. Mm-hmm. It just happens. They come to you with a question, and then you just know the answer. When you find something that you love and want to do, you're excited about. I'm excited about every time I get to coach somebody. I'm like, yes, all right. When's my call?
Let's do this thing.
When do I get to do this? Okay. Mm-hmm. And it's also I'm at peace, because I'm doing what I was meant to be doing, and I get to incorporate all of the aspects of my life that have led up to this point. With the health, with the nursing, and the experiences I've had as a young girl, with my weight struggles. And it is, when you get to this point, you're just like, oh, all right, this is pretty cool. You're just at peace, and I'm smiling all the time, and I'm happy, and that's what I want to spread the happiness, spread the love, spread the health, and just spread wellness to whoever wants it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it. Live happy.
Exactly. Yeah. Spread wellness to whoever wants it. And that's right. Your clients, no matter what, you are a your coaching specialty is in. If you're like, I'm a business coach, I'm a career coach, I'm a spiritual coach, I'm a wellness coach. And, people who come through our school, like they position themselves any which way they want, and that's the neat thing of what we're offering up here and who we're teaching and guiding. But no matter what kind of coach you are, your clients have to want it. They have to want to work with you. They have to want to do the work, because as the coach, you're not doing the work for your client. If you're all fired up and you're like so excited to serve people and like they don't show up for the call, they're not doing the work, they're not open, then that's not a good fit. And that's definitely something that we cover in our curriculum too, is, how to attract in the ideal clients and how to weed out those tire kickers. And just, we want to set you up for success. How does your husband, how is he feeling about just how your path has evolved and just who you are as Mollie now? We're in, late 2016. What does he have to say about all this?
He's just kind of like, he looks at me sometimes and he's just like, who are you? And he's always like, you know what, babe, whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. And he can see that what I am doing, and what I have been doing over the last 4 months is how much I've put into it, the energy I've put in. He can see the difference in me, and he can definitely see that, I'm happy and I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
That's so cool. That's so awesome. It's great that he can see that. And I think for the people in our lives who, especially when we make a shift and they're like, wait, what are you going to do? You're going to sign up for this training and you're going to be what is it? A coach? How does that work? The proof is in your energy, in the vibe that you're putting out there. When they see that you're happy, you're engaged, like you have no problem getting up earlier, staying up later, in those times when you need to take in the information and, practice, to be with clients, like they see how much joy it brings you and how much joy you're putting out into the world. And, those who are really on our team and who get us and who want our success as much as we do, they're just thrilled. So I'm really happy that's happening for you. All right, so people can get their hands on your great Mastering My Morning freebie, and we'll include the link on our show notes page, everybody, so make sure you go check that out. You're also really active on Facebook, Mollie, and didn't you started a Facebook group?
Yes.
What is the name of that?
Called Total Wellness Superstars.
Awesome. Total Wellness Superstars. So how would somebody find that group if they want to be a part of your group?
Well, you can either just search it in the search bar, or you can go to facebook.com/groups/Mollie Hearne Total Wellness.
Nice. Okay, cool. So we'll have that link up there for you too on the show notes page. And definitely you can go to Facebook and just search for Total Wellness Superstars. And, Mollie, I know you're doing a great job with nurturing your tribe and just loving them up. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm very honored that you chose to come through Get Gutsy Coach Training School. You are one of our students I will never forget, and I know that our last meeting will not be our only meeting. There will be another time that we get to hang out for sure. I want to know the answer to your final question. This is a question we ask all of our guests on Get Gutsy, and I love hearing what everybody has to say. Mollie, what is the gutsiest move you've ever made, and how does it inspire your life and work today?
Well, we touched on it a little bit earlier. My gutsiest move was leaving family and friends and everything in California and traveling across the United States to by myself to go to school. The unknown was exciting and scary, and I just couldn't wait to get started. I remember when my parents were out there and they were getting ready to leave, and my mom was just crying. She's like, oh, my baby girl, she's just not going to be home, and she knew I was going to find my husband out there and and never come back to California. But that was a big move, and joining the military so that I could be there, I could do what I wanted to do on my own. And that's definitely helped me just as a person with commitment and discipline and going for what I want and, seeing it through. Yeah. Not giving up and doing what I got to do to get it done.
And where did you meet your husband? Was it in college?
Yeah, at Villanova.
At Villanova. Then that happened. It's like that move, that one move that you made. I'm going to go into the unknown. I'm going to break away from the pack. I'm going to break away from my family. And I'm sure a lot of your friends stayed in California. It's a great state.
Yeah.
And you said, you know what? I'm going to do something different because my soul is calling out for me. And I know you have a strong connection to God, Mollie. And I'm sure there was, that knowingness that I'm going to be okay and that there's something for me here, even if you weren't quite sure what it was yet. And I commend you for trusting that you would be able to do it, and that you were open to going through ROTC to help you pay for this, that you're just like, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, so many people don't do that. They're not willing. They're like, oh, well, whatever. It's not going to work out. I'll just put my dream aside. I'll just, I'll stay in California. I'll do it here. The majority of my friends are doing it, or my family's all here. This was silly. This was crazy. And you just said, no way. Like, I'm absolutely going to do it. What did your husband do? Like when you were then stationed in San Diego, like what was he doing at that time? I'm just curious.
He was here in Pennsylvania working.
Wow.
Yeah, they have a family business, and he was here. So we had 4 years of long distance, and here we are, like 14 and a half years later.
Woo.
With a beautiful life, 2 beautiful kids, and what more could you ask for?
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's freaking rad. Where in Pennsylvania exactly?
Oxford. So it's very southeast, a few miles above the Maryland border. We're in that tri-state Delaware, Pennsylvania, Maryland corner.
Got it. Okay. Make sure you connect if you haven't yet with Julia Slike. She's also was interviewed this week for Gutsy Coach Week. She was our first ever student of Get Gutsy Coach Training School. Like she put us on the map. Basically, she lives in Pennsylvania. She lives in Pennsylvania. So I know it's a big state, but sometimes I'm like, oh, you're both in Pennsylvania. Who knows? Maybe you're right next to each other. I think she may be more in like the northern part of the state, but you know what? I have no idea. She just is like in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'll
look her up.
I know there's Poconos. I know that. But she's rad, and you guys would definitely click. Wow, Mollie, what a ride you're on. You are spectacular. I'm so happy that you said yes to the path of coaching. You have many lives to touch. This is only the beginning. I know it feels like it's been a long journey, but if you're anything like me, when you find the thing that you love to do, you're like, wow, I feel like I'm just getting started. Do you feel like that? Like you just have so much more gas in the tank?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, that's a great feeling. I know when I was feeling very lost in my corporate life, I was just like, there's no way I could do this for a long period of time. I was so tapped out. I was so over it. And, I've been coaching since 2008. We're now towards the end of 2016. Like, that's a while. I've been doing this longer than I ever did any of my corporate jobs. And that tells me something like, okay, Jenny. And I've definitely evolved. And that's something that I wanted to point out for you and for our listeners that, coaching is such a cool field because you can just spin it in whatever direction you want to go. If you just say, for the next year, I'm just doing VIP days. Or for the next year, I'm going to bust out, this one online course and just like rock it out. Or for this next year, I'm going to do one-on-one. Like I'm just going to have one-on-one coaching. I'm going to do a bunch of workshops and do a bunch of webinars to get people into my one-on-one. Like, there's so many ways. And you can evolve that based on what your needs are, what your family's needs are. Maybe, your kids are younger and they're at home more, or they're out and you want some more things to do, or you guys want to go on like a worldwide adventure. And so you're going to adapt your business to reflect what's happening in your world. It's completely possible. That was a litmus test for me when I was figuring out what I wanted to do when I was quitting corporate. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But I didn't know immediately I was going to be a coach. Like I didn't even know that existed. And so I just was like, I want something that doesn't matter where I live. I could take it with me. I could take it with me on the road because my husband traveled for business. I wanted to be able to go with him and, go on these trips together. I wanted it to be something that did not feel like work. Like it just felt like, wow, this is so easy. I could do this with my eyes closed in the shower, half asleep, like it was just because it was my gift. It was like, this was the thing, this was my genius. And then something that would evolve with me that I wasn't going to get sick of because I get sick of things. I get bored. I'm a Gemini. I flit around. What's your zodiac sign, Molly?
A Leo.
Oh yeah. Yep. I see that for you, and your hair is like very Leo-like.
Yes. I have a mane.
You do. You're like my beautiful lioness. I love that. Yeah. And it's good for, for Leos is too. Like, so now that I know that about you, get out on the stage. Like Leos like to be in the spotlight. You want to be on the stage. Like, even if it's just like live streams, which I know you're doing more of, and just, hitting, doing workshops in your area, or figuring out like when you travel places like, oh, I'm gonna do one in New York, or I'm gonna do one here. That Leos, like the general sense of that sign, they tend to really like that, and thrive in that environment. So I look forward to watching you serve your people in that way moving forward, Molly. Thank you again for being here. All of our listeners, go check her out. We'll have those links for you on our show notes page. Thank you for being a part of Gutsy Coach Week. We have so many more amazing episodes coming your way. Stay with us. This is Jenny Fenig sending you so much love, light, and faith as you get gutsy. I will see you next time.
Hey, this is John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and you're listening to Get Gutsy with Jenny Fenig. Gutsy leaders unite and ignite.
This episode of Get Gutsy was brought to you by Get Gutsy Coach Training School. This is the program teaching the future generation of coaches how to make a difference and a great living. So, if you haven't figured it out by now, I have built my business around this calling of a coach. That is what my podcast is based on. My book is based on that. The courses and programs that I've developed over the years have really allowed this calling of me being a coach to get unleashed in the world in such a massive way. And I am able to be a confident coach because I went through coach training. I learned what it took to be strong and supportive for my clients, and also how to be a phenomenal entrepreneur, a smart marketer, and a savvy business owner. And I realized that there was a total gap in the market for those of you out there who want to train under a successful coach, a successful entrepreneur, someone who walks her talk, is able to provide that gorgeous sacred container for you to claim your expertise and gifts, for you to package up the gorgeous value that you add to the world, and for you to be able to create a lifestyle that is beyond your wildest dreams, for you to be able to help as many people as you care to during this lifetime. And truly, being a coach is just, it's completely epic. So we are in the throes of our enrollment period for Coach Training School. I invite you to check it out. It is going to be absolutely extraordinary. We'd love to serve you in Coach Training School. Come on over and check it out. It teaches you exactly what you need to know now to truly make it as a coach, and you will not find anything in the market quite like this or at such a huge value. Come check us out, coachtrainingschool.com. That's coachtrainingschool.com. Gutsy coaches unite.